Hello, and welcome to Fluorescene show number 18. Don't forget to hit that red subscribe button below so you get notifications for future shows, segments, events, contests, and soon to come, COPE. That's right, we'll be starting some free online education and tying it to the Fluorescene. So make sure you're in the loop by subscribing. This week in Odie's on Facebook, a doc saw this sign at Hobby Lobby and is thinking about getting it for the exam lane. This post brought out all the old military vets who, thanks for your service, and docs who have cared for military vets. You know, the people who read the chart, Echo Foxtrot, Whiskey Tango Zebra Airplane. Look, just say it, so us non-military docs don't have to glance back at the chart to translate and confirm the letters. Please. Then, when someone is reading the lines fine and all of a sudden they go silent, our go-to thought is they can't see the next line. Not always true. This happened to one doc, so he said, "Go ahead and guess, or has it gotten too blurry for you?" And the patient answered, "No, I just can't think of a word that starts with P." Then just say effing P. But don't be so hard on those old military vets. They're using the NATO phonetic alphabet. That's what it's called because that's how they're trained. Don't worry, we love and respect all the branches of our military, and they love to pick on each other too, not just me. If you ask someone in the Army, they'll tell you USMC is an abbreviation for Uncle Sam's Misguided Children. If you're a Marine, they like to say the acronym for Army is Ain't Ready for the Marines Yet. Then there was the doc whose patient read the letters using abbreviations from the periodic table of elements. Serious eye roll. One doc said, "Just reading this made my eyelid twitch." Now, if you wondered why we drink, a doc posts about an established mid-40s patient who, before the start of the exam, says, "Doctor, I'm so grateful for you. You saw my son a few months ago and diagnosed him with Stargardt disease and referred him to the retinal specialist." That's what we do. "I can't thank you enough," he went on to say. Guess what happens at the end of the exam? A few scenarios are probably going through your head. They probably have to do with the patient asking to take the prescription elsewhere. And you'd be right. The patient asks to fax the RX to Costco so I can save a little money. Apparently, gratefulness only goes so far. These are the same people who own local small businesses with a shop local sign in the window, right? The type of patient who is so cheap, when they die, they go towards the light and turn it off. So cheap, she takes off her glasses when she's not looking at anything. So cheap, she eats cereal with a fork to save milk. And I could go on, but I won't subject you to that. This is the type of patient that, if you went out of business, they'd be in shock because you're such a good doctor. And they wouldn't understand that they are part of the reason. Docs chimed in with good advice like, "This is exactly the reason we need to charge appropriately for our fees and not care about materials as much." The next post goes like this. Patient who, by the way, owns a car dealership asks, "That retina photo for $29, isn't that just a gimmick to get you more money for the eye exam?" Doc responds, "No. The dealer's service charge is a gimmick to make you more money for selling a car. The retina photo is to look for disease, signs of macular degeneration, retina tears, detachments, signs of hypertension, diabetes, brain tumors, etc." And the patient says, "Okay, doc, you talked me into it. Go ahead and do it." One doc said the doc should have offered him an extended warranty at $29, and once he said yes, added, "per eye." Hey, as a used eye salesman, I take offense to this post. Reminds me of the joke where this guy is talking to a salesman and asks about, does the car have cargo space? And the salesman says, "No, car no do that, car no fly." You could have also tried to sell him an extended eye warranty or a retina undercoating. Look, don't be too hard on used car salespeople. It's their lot in life. Then there are the patients with history of cataract surgery who don't remember having the surgery and even deny they have an IOL in their eyes. We've all seen that. The conversation goes like this. "Have you ever had any surgery or trauma to your eyes?" And they respond, "No." You get the slit lamp out, you do a double take. "Okay, so you have a corneal incision scar and you have an IOL in both eyes?" They respond, "Oh yeah, that." Maybe the aliens are fixing cataracts during abductions now? Then this happens. Patients who you ask and they totally deny it. No, doc, I never had a cataract out, and you're looking at the IOL and the incision scar. Okay, right. Then how did this piece of acrylic end up precisely in the place where your surgeon would implant it? Aliens again. And patients who will tell you the surgeon took them back in the OR and did absolutely nothing, and they're pissed about it because maybe they never felt anything. And you have to spend your time convincing them how much better their vision is since the surgery. Hey, and what about the follow-ups they went through? What were they for? It's kind of hard to forget an operation where a doc is coming at your eye with a scalpel, don't you think? And the opposite can happen too. There's the patients who didn't have cataract surgery and are adamant that they did. You see all types in optometry. Then there was a doc who had a patient who reported no history of eye surgery. When the doc revealed one eye was no light perception and slit lamp revealed a prosthetic, yeah, I think it's pretty tough, even impossible for a patient to forget they were enucleated. But apparently it happens. A member asked, why do patients show up for contact lens follow-ups without contacts, even after we tell them repeatedly during INR and write it on their appointment card? This is like asking how many licks it takes to get to the center of a Tootsie Pop. There's no answer. The world may never know. I hate when you ask a patient why they didn't bring them in, and they answer, because they didn't work. Ugh, makes you want to kill somebody. Short on the concept of follow-up. A doc mentioned the mother who bringing her daughter in for a contact lens follow-up, who showed up for the appointment and, no, she didn't forget the contacts. She forgot the daughter. Parent of the year. But don't feel so bad. We're not the only profession dealing with this. A doc had a conversation with a patient who was a car mechanic, told him contact lens patients come to follow-ups without their contacts, and asked the mechanic, I bet people who ask you to fix their car don't leave the car at home. Guess what? The mechanic replied, yep, happens every day. Head scratcher. It's like going to the Apple store to get your iPhone fixed and forgetting your iPhone. Then a doc asked, who had the best exam room stories? Now, I'm sure we all could have contributed to this, but here's a brief breakdown of the best. There's the doc who hog-tied a child with a belt, handkerchief, and tie to the chair in SCO clinic. I guarantee that didn't happen in the past 20 years. And the doc who had one patient tell him she does not wear bras because they are uncomfortable. The doc hadn't asked if she wore a bra. That's a clear case of TMI. Then another lady told a doc that her contact lenses were uncomfortable, like thong underwear. Again, TMI. And the doc who had an 80-year-old lady tell him after turning down the lights for the exam, it's been a while since I've been alone in the dark with a man. Hey, some of us can't afford to be so picky. Now, plenty of us have farted in front of patients, right? No? That was just me? Oops. And the doc whose female patient lost her husband, and he said, I'm so sorry for your loss, to which she responded, why? He was a mother effer. I can't believe the cops didn't suspect me. Did not see that one coming. Then there was a doc who had a patient come in with a wheelchair and crutches. Guess what happens? The doc knocked the crutches over in a way that jammed them into the spokes of the wheelchair. The building heating engineer had to come in and take the wheel off the wheelchair, disabling a disabled patient. Yikes. Good job, doc. Then, well, there's the patient convinced her sudden onset floaters were worms. To corroborate her story, yeah, she pulled out a sandwich bag of worms she collected from her stool that morning. And the patient who ran out of the exam room with the gonio lens still stuck on her eye. Yeah, they can be tough to remove, but imagine a patient running around your office screaming and flailing their arms with a lens like that still stuck on their eye. It's like a scene out of a post-apocalyptic movie. Not a great patient retention strategy. And the doc who had a young woman come in saying that a few days earlier that a fly had flown into her eye, and ever since then she had felt things crawling in her eye. When the doc looked through the slit lamp, she almost fell off the chair after seeing small larvae crawl right across the front of the patient's cornea. Over the next 3 days, the patient removed a half dozen more larvae from her eye. Needless to say, doc didn't take lunch that day. Then there was a doc who had the patient who asked if he could get glasses in an hour because, he had to go turn himself into the police that day. And then the time a patient wore an America's Best t-shirt to a doctor's office for their exam that wasn't at America's Best. That's another head scratcher. Then there's this, the optical illusion of the day. Now that is awesome. I have the head for it too. Some people already think I have a black hole in my head anyway, so I probably wouldn't need the tattoo. But really, I need a tattoo like I need a hole in a head. The best comment? If I was drunk, I would get myself killed trying to throw a peanut in it. The head tattoo bothered me less than the neck tattoo. You know, men with neck tattoos used to make me nervous. Now, they make me lattes.